connected.
Oh,
There we
nice.
go. It's been real. VGK taking a commanding 3-0 lead in the best of 7 Western Conference final. The Golden Knights are now just 1 win away from advancing to the Stanley Cup final after Tuesday's 4-0 shutout win in Dallas. Hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco along with Chris Golick. We come to you from Las Vegas each and every day. Thanks for making us your first listen. We appreciate all of that. Find us on the YouTube channel, Locked On Golden Knights. Of course, we want you to subscribe there and continue to leave the elite chirps. We're also on Twitter, at TDChrisG, that's him. I am at Tony Dasco, at Locked On VGK.
It's been real. Did you say that? It's been real, like Jaime
like
Benn
that?
real. Did I hear that right?
Yeah. Is that okay?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So Bruce Cassidy, he said this week that he likes when VGK silences the crowd on the road. And it didn't take very long for that to occur. VGK went up 3-0 in the first 7 minutes, 10 seconds of the game. The very quick goal, Eichel to Marchessault. So no one was home on the doorstep on the left side. Just a minute 11 into the game. So Marchessault's last 2 goals, 2:22, 1:11. Let's figure this out. When will the next goal come? 0.00. 0.00, right? I guess.
Under.
Take the under. And then, of course, the play that everyone's talking about again this morning, that's VGK's Jonathan Marchessault called the play disgusting. He called it disgusting. And the Stars captain, Jaime Benn, not only knocked down Mark Stone to the ice, but then he cross-checked him while Stone was down on the ice to the jaw. Very dangerous play. And, of course, that drew a 5-minute game misconduct, the major on Benn. And he should know better. He's the captain, right, of the Dallas Stars. And, just a bonehead play. VGK scores a power play goal, and that was by Adin Barbashev. It took them 4 minutes to get there to score that goal on the power play. Then your guy, Will Carrier, who you picked to score a goal. That was good. Now 15 different Golden Knights have scored a goal in the playoffs. 15 currently. That's where we stand. But let's talk a little bit about what everyone's talking about, the dirty play by Jaime Benn. Does he get a suspension?
I think it's going to be reviewed. I mean, so the result of the play, thankfully, was not that bad. And I think I want to credit Mark Stone for, first of all, not getting up and trying to cause a ruckus out of it, first of all. And I also want to credit him for not laying there like a dead fish like the Oilers did every time something happened. I'm thinking of the Keegan Colasar major in the corner when he was thrown out of that game and got the major, and the defenseman that got knocked down, he just waited, made sure the ref had his hand up, and then all of a sudden he was okay after that. So Stone took his lick, got up, and the call was the call, and that's that. So what I don't like about it is there is direct intent to make contact with the head of Mark Stone. Dangerous play, not a dangerous result, thankfully, which is the only thing that might keep Jaime Benn from, at the least, he's getting the phone call tomorrow. I mean, Stone is on his back. He is defenseless. Benn knocks him down, borderline interference call in the first place, and then he friggin' Gronk slams him, like Rob Gronkowski this is. Gronk slams him to the friggin' head. And like, what's he thinking there? I don't understand the mindset. I don't understand, like, this isn't even close to a hockey play. That's a term that Connor McDavid loved to throw around when the situation with Alex Pietrangelo, we could throw this right back at them. And, Marchessault, he's doing the same thing that Connor McDavid did. He's, getting some stuff out there in the media, planting some seeds out there, and just hoping that when, the player safety looks at this, it's just a little bit, to get them in their corner to possibly have Benn sit out the rest of this series. Hopefully the series is going to end, obviously, on Thursday. But if it doesn't, it's probably going to end soon. So, yeah, dumb play by Jaime Benn. I don't know what he's thinking. He's the captain. He knows better. Everything you said, Tony. And, Pete DeBoer, bad leadership, bro. I don't know how else to say it.
Okay, it is 16 different players have scored goals. 16.
So
Carrier
made it 16 and
Yeah,
Pietrangelo as well. Crazy.
crazy, right? Ottinger, well,
Who
Jake
hasn't
Ottinger was
scored?
in there. I mean, really, truly, you haven't yet. Ottinger never saw the puck while he was in. It was
He was
really
bad.
embarrassing.
Bad. He was bad.
3 goals onto the first 5 shots, including the first shot of the game, just a minute 11 in. That was awful. He never saw the puck. Not one time on those 3 shots. It could have been 10 goals if he had stayed in the game. It was pathetic. How
First
could you
shot he
not be
gets in.
ready? How could you not be ready for a big game like this, trailing 2-0? That's my
He's
question.
young. He's young. Let's start there. Maybe he's not ready for this type of stage yet. And I'm not. I want to make sure I say this carefully. I don't want this to be a pile on the Dallas Stars type of show. But Ottinger, I don't know if simply he's ready right now. He came apart some games in the Kraken series, let in a lot of goals. The first period of game 1, I was legitimately concerned that Ottinger would possibly be able to steal the series for the Dallas Stars. And you look at the way that game finished up. He let up a couple of not so great goals later in that game. Game 2, the overtime goal that was scored again, and even the 5-on-3 goal that Mark Stone got was not. He's going across the net, didn't close the 5-hole. Mark Stone was just now he wasn't even aiming 5-hole. He was just trying to get the puck in, and good things happened. And then the overtime goal with the rebound, just a juicy rebound right to Chandler Stevenson coming down the left-hand side. And then the first goal, Marchessault, so you get a pass on that. There's nothing anyone's going to do about that one. The second goal, he just moved across. ESPN had a real good angle. He just hit him right in the upper shoulder and snuck in. And then the Will Carrier goal, he's got a straight line to the
Backhander
net.
by Carrier.
It's a good play. It's not taking anything away from Carrier,
No,
but that's a
never saw
save.
it. Never saw it.
That's a save you got to make in the conference finals. End of story. And he gets yanked, and his head is shot right now. Call it what it is. Hopefully he can bounce back next season, but let's. I don't want the series to come back to Vegas. Finish this thing on Thursday, and let's start talking about Game 1 of the Stanley Cup maybe on Sunday or something.
Well, VGK this season,
that's crazy to think about that. That's crazy,
right? VGK this season now closeout games 2-0, which is really good. The thing about Benn, and he really did hurt his team because they were down now to 10 forwards for most of the game.
Yeah,
Evgeny Dadonov, he runs into Rupe Hintz in the first period, I think, right? And we don't see him again for the remainder of the game. So that really hurt that team. Brett Howden, by the way, lower body injury. He got hurt in the first period. And Cassidy said afterwards that it was something that he re-aggravated. He went back out in the second, and then they just shut him down. So hopefully he's back. I do want to talk about not only the things unravel for the Dallas Stars, but also for their fans. It was just a pathetic night in Dallas, and something that you would think that that's sort of a mature sports market with some really good sports fans, I'd have to believe. And it was an embarrassment across the board. The team was bad, and then the fans are throwing just all sorts of garbage and trash. And the pretzel, the $20 pretzel, that one that hurt me. They threw a pretzel. They threw the popcorn on Adin Hill.
That's the one that hurt me. That's probably expensive popcorn.
Well, yes. And don't, whatever you do not throw your beer, because in any arena or stadium, we know how much beers go for. But we do want to talk about Max Domi. And at the end of the second period, talk about things just really falling apart for the Dallas Stars. So a nasty cross-check to Haig. They were tangling a little bit before them. And then Haig gets up, and Haig just stands there. We know he's an elite fighter, by the way. And Haig just stands there, takes some haymakers to the head, and he just keeps laughing at him. So they take off Domi with the game misconduct. They take him off to the penalty box, and Haig skating off the ice. He's talking trash back and forth with Domi. He gives him a thumbs up.
He's pointing at the scoreboard.
And they give him a penalty, though. What is that all about?
It's a
What
4-0
was
game. It's
that?
over, and the refs want to send a message to knock that crap off. That's what's happening there. With Nick Hague skates back in there. I mean, listen, if Hague gets loose, engages with Max Domi, or another player comes in, that's when you have a line brawl breaking out, and neither team wants that right now. Max Domi is who he is. I pointed out actually as a result of when Evander Kane got I'm sorry, not Evander Kane, the Darnell Nurse, pardon me, when Darnell Nurse got that instigator, how he skated across the ice. But Max Domi did a similar play that was actually worse in October and did not get the automatic suspension for getting a late instigator. And point is, Max Domi does have a mean streak in him, and just like there's just a right way and a wrong way to do it. You don't go after a dude's head. You don't, not in that circumstance. If you're fighting, or if there's like a ruckus happening, you start face washing and stuff, like fine, no problem there. But just going straight to the head, especially if maybe the other player isn't ready for it, like that's just like, what are you doing? That's just there's nothing good that comes of that. And when the team comes unraveled, the coach comes unraveled, and now you have the fans, and these aren't fans, these are just idiots. I don't know how else to say it. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say that, but I'm going to say it. These are just idiots who are not representative of the Dallas Stars fan base. I'm sure they have a lot of great fans. There were a lot of great fans that I've interacted with at T-Mobile. There's two clowns behind me in game one, but that's okay. We high-fived. It worked out fine. But generally speaking, the Stars fans have been good. Although this is the second bit of bad PR for the Dallas Stars, Tony. I'm not going to get too deep into this one, but early in the season, you remember that schmuck with the mohawk that said something very inappropriate in exchange, and older gentleman just popped the kid in the jaw. If you remember that one, he said a very bad word you don't say to someone, and the whole thing was caught on TikTok or whatever nonsense, and dude got popped in the jaw as he deserved. And maybe this was people like that. So Dallas Stars fans, I'm not mad at you guys. I'm mad at the few idiots that came and did this. And to the Golden Knight fans, I put this on Twitter just before we started recording. If this thing goes 5 games, big if at this point, but if this thing goes game 5, don't go to T-Mobile on Saturday on Saturday night looking for trouble. Don't look at the Stars fans and mess with them. Just enjoy the game and enjoy the hockey game. The Stars fans that are coming here, they're helping our economy. They're here to watch a good game. Say hello, interact. I'm sure you'll have a good time. There's no need for animosity. We don't need to be throwing crap on the ice. Just enjoy a hockey game. And if we win, shake the Stars' hands. If we lose, shake the Stars fans' hands, and we'll go to game 6. It's all good. It's all good.
So 21.6 seconds remaining in the second period. They cleared the ice and sent both teams to the locker room, and then they played the final 21.6, and they switched sides, and they played the third period, and really not much. And the fourth goal was scored by Alex Pietrangelo just 1 second after a power play had expired. And so they came.
Oh, it wasn't officially a power play goal. Ooh.
No, 1 second after that. Adin Hill, cannot say enough about just the way that he's performing in net.
Did you see his quote about the popcorn?
No, what did he say?
He was asked about it in the post game, and his response, I guess everything was hitting me tonight.
So 34 shots on goal, 34 saves, his first playoff career shutout, 6th win, 6 wins now. And it's just hard to believe how far he has come to become the go-to and the number 1 goaltender, right? If Laurent Brossoit,
last man standing.
is Robin Lehner going to be back in time for the Cup final?
He might.
Yeah, but
he might.
So Brossoit,
we got salary cap room.
So Brossoit and Thompson didn't even make the trip, right? And in the third period,
I'm not aware.
Now, why do I get grief for this? I said put Jonathan Quick in to get some reps. You're leading handily. Everyone bet the over at 5.5.
That's a great idea, actually. Everyone bet the over.
I got blasted for that one. But
really?
In any event, yeah, I did. I
actually think that's a great idea. I mean, listen.
The way the goalie carousel's been going this entire season, someone's hurt all the time.
If Adin Hill doesn't get those reps in, the end of game 2 at T-Mobile Arena in round 2, when we were getting shellacked by the Oilers,
right?
He might not come out and do as well in game 3. And now we are talking about if Edmonton goes up 2-1 in that series, we could be talking about an entirely different outcome. We might be talking about off-season crap right now. If they don't win that third game of the series. You never know. I mean, you just don't know. So they're really, in my opinion, Tony, you have nothing to lose by tossing the quit. I mean, listen, we do have a thing about giving up, 4-goal leads in the third period in this town, I guess, not a major 2019, whatever. But I think the game's pretty safe. And, there's nothing what's there to lose? What's the downside? Is Dallas going to score 4 goals with 10 forwards in a game where they're completely unraveled? I don't think so. Adin Hill had an extra maintenance day after between the two series.
Yeah.
Like, why is he getting maintenance days at this point when there's already a 4 or 5 day gap?
When they already had a day off. In any event,
exactly.
Coming up next, we are going to talk about what we can expect in Game 4 on Thursday night. Are the Stars done? It's been real. You like that?
I love it.
Back with more after this on Locked On Golden Knights. For a championship team, it's all about making sure that every player is a perfect fit. Appears as though VGK could be headed in that direction, rolling the 4 lines and all.
Stars are aligning.
It's the same when it comes to your vehicle. Every part really does need to fit just right. So the next time that you need parts and accessories, just head over to eBay Motors. With the eBay Guaranteed Fit, you can make sure that every part that you need fits just right the first time around. Just add the ride to My Garage and then look for the green check, and then you will know that the part will fit. If not, you get your money back. Because just like in sports, confidence is the name of the game when you shop at eBay Motors. And with over 122 million parts to choose from, you'll be back in the game in no time at all. After all, it's easy to bring home a win when the right parts are guaranteed. The right parts, the right fit, and the right prices on ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. Welcome back to Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco, along with Chris Golick. You can find us on Twitter at Tony Dasco, at TD Chris G. Thanks for making us your first listen. Make sure that you tune in again on Friday for What the Friday. And if VGK wraps things up on Thursday, we're going to have a lot of really good chirps. And at the end of the game, I don't know if you stayed around that long. At the end of the game, did you see where Max Domi and Mark Stone were chirping heavily back and forth at each other?
What's their chirp? Like, really? What do you?
I don't know. Ray
both
Ferraro
sides
was
both
in the
sides.
middle of it. He said that there was some pretty good exchanges, and they just went back and forth. But that's something, I guess, to watch as we approach game number 4. And, Subban said on the ESPN coverage, he said he could not believe, though, he did say he couldn't believe that Dallas was this soft. They're really not a hard-hitting team at all. So what can we expect in game number 4? Is it sweep time for VGK?
I mean, listen, you said Stars in 6. Obviously, that's not happening at this point. I said Knights in 5. That might not even be happening right now. It might be Knights in 4. Do we get the dejected Dallas Stars team who just are out there and, hoping to get lucky and kind of going through the motions? Or, do you see the younger players like, Jason Robertson, really just taking the reign, seizing the moment, and, Ottinger going out there nice and loose without any pressure? I don't know. I mean, this is, Jaime Benn just puts something bad into the air of the Dallas Stars for what he did, especially if he winds up getting a suspension, which is probably a reason when you really think about this and watch what happened. There was a very reasonable shot he's getting suspended. I'm not campaigning for it. I'm not saying, they really need to, set an example. I'm not, this isn't to that point. The Pietrangelo situation was still worse, in my opinion. Golden Knights fans, I'm sure you're going to love me for that one, but that's just my take on it. I want to give Dallas credit for coming out and giving an effort on Thursday night. I really, really do. But, Jaime Benn, just that, I can't go back to that. And just thinking in that locker room, they're going to be positive and in the mindset of going out there and just forgetting everything, forget the cliches, whatever the 3-0 odds are. I know it's 99, whatever, 97, 98, what, 4 times someone's come back, whatever the numbers are. If you got them, if not, it doesn't matter. I'm having a hard time thinking you're going to see anything from Dallas. And, they show, this is pretty funny. Me and Tony has talked about this before we started the show, before the game started, right? They showed the locker room. They showed Pete DeBoer. Okay, guys, let's go out there. Let's be relentless. And then off he goes. Like DeBoer's a good coach. DeBoer is a good coach.
Not a good motivator.
He's not a good motivator, and he is not good at maximizing the potential of the team in front of them. He's not going to get the most out of someone like, Robertson had a 100-point season, so we're not going to say that. But just in general, unleashing the capability of a team to be successful. He has good runs. He has great runs when he first joins a team. It's all downhill. Dallas, you have peaked with Pete DeBoer. Next season is going to be even worse. If you don't agree with my take, just look at Pete DeBoer historically, and then maybe rethink your thought process of disagreeing with me.
You know what they did? They scratched Glendening for Dallas. I could see them disjointed from the beginning of the game defensively, right?
He changed the lines up a lot too. He changed the forwards up.
Yeah. And so Glendening is great on the PK. They missed him there. There were so many holes and gaps.
He had 2 goals on the power play, basically.
He's a terrific face-off guy, and he scratches him in the game.
He's Teddy Bluger.
And I mean, that's the guy that they needed, and he shows some heart. He's a tough guy. And the other signs of a Pete DeBoer, and I'm not just jumping on him because they got blown out in this game.
Jump on him. But,
VGK did, again, a typical sign of a Pete DeBoer team is what? Getting forced to the outside, and all the shots are coming from the outside. Bingo, that's what we saw. Also, they were tentative in not shooting the puck. We saw this with this VGK team a season ago. And so those were all signs that Pete DeBoer just had to go from Vegas, and he winds up there in Dallas, and we're seeing a lot of the same style of play. Can he get over the hump?
I got one here. Maybe this will be the quote that makes it on Locked On NHL. I got one.
This is a team of destiny.
There you go. Now I'm going to one up you. So who has the hardest job for the opponent of Pete DeBoer? Who has the hardest job?
No.
Whoever does the laundry for the team playing against Pete DeBoer. Because think about it, the goalie, whoever is responsible for watching the goalie's jersey after the game, it's going to have all those puck marks on the beautiful crest of the team. I don't know. It can't be easy to get those off. So, whoever is in charge of washing it, the equipment manager, whoever does that, that's got to be a hard job. So hopefully, whoever does that for Vegas, they got their work cut out for them, because that crest is going to be just completely with all these black marks and puck marks on it, because that's all they do. They shoot at the goalie's crest, right? That's all they do.
Yeah. And in the game as well, for VGK, I thought that, they had some really good pushes there. I thought Nick Waugh played exceptionally well. He did have the assist to Barbashev on that one goal. And then without Howden, I guess we'll see Amadio if he can't go.
Not worried about Howden. Not worried. He'll be back.
But I called it the Brett Howden line on the show. I mean,
that was pretty awesome.
Coming up next, we will talk about Ivan Barbashev. I thought he played a monster of a game, and we'll talk about his contributions because he's got some great numbers in the playoffs. And again, with that leadership, and one of the players that came over there at the trade deadline for the VGK. We'll be back with more right after this on Locked On Golden Knights. Hey, we want to talk about one of our newest sponsors on Locked On Golden Knights. So Chris and I got our care packages. If you send us a care package, we are going to be Goombas. We're going to be really good friends. Our friends at Bird Dogs, they sent us some shorts. What did you get? I got shorts. I got this tumbler. Can you see that? Yeah. Is this a Yeti tumbler? Because I'm going to get back to that in a second.
What's a Yeti tumbler?
Okay. Whatever. Okay. In any event.
I'm so bad at this.
So you actually feel much better wearing Bird Dogs. They're very comfortable. They're shorts with a liner, right? Inside of them, that really nice. Yeah.
I thought they're like swimming shorts. Trunks. Are you supposed to? Never mind. I'm not going to go there.
Okay. No. So these are shorts and pants that are versatile. So yes, you can wear these pair of shorts or pants to the golf course, to a meeting, on a date. when you go to a game and you throw your popcorn at a goalie or hanging out with your friends. Bert Kreischer wakes up at his lake house and he wears bird dogs, goes for a swim, smokes a cigar, he grills some burgers, and he chills with his family, all in the shorts that he associates with summertime. That's bird dogs. Dave Portnoy. Portnoy is a very good friend of our show. But he wears his bird dogs reviews wearing, he does his pizza reviews wearing bird dogs as well.
One bite, everyone knows the rules.
Yeah. And so he says he feels really great in the shorts. These are really terrific. We appreciate them. Go to birddogs.com/LockedOnNHL. And when you enter the promo code LockedOnNHL, they will also throw in a custom Bird Dogs Yeti style tumbler. Nice. With every single order. Oh, wait, that's not the logo. There's the logo right there. What? Welcome back to Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas. We appreciate you making us your first listen each and every day. And again, please go to the YouTube channel. There's been some vintage chirps on there lately.
It's confrontational.
My fan base is really starting to take off, man. It's really growing.
Half of them will replace you with little Chris, buddy.
They said they want to get rid of me for little Chris. And we do have to find a way to insert the video on this show of the celly, of Chris's celly. Because
he got another goal tonight. He got a second goal tonight, Tony.
Did he do the same? Did he learn his lesson?
He acted like he'd been there before, actually. So the defenseman was skating up. He stole the puck, came in from the circle, and let a nice little wrister go. High-fived the teammates, looked over at mommy to make sure she saw, and he came right to the bench. So dude's been there before.
That's fun. So we talked about Adin Barbashev right before the break. Just outstanding. I think he's one of the unsung players for the VGK. 13 points in 14 playoff games so far, right? Doing a terrific job. And in the last 5 games, Chris, 7 points. And he was one of the acquisitions that VGK got there at the trade deadline. And he's really contributed very well. And he's got the experience. And I think that on the top line, they've really gelled. With him and Eichel and Marchessault. I thought that they're playing so well, and there's some chemistry there. And Barbashev's like the heavy guy, does the dirty work, does well on the forecheck, and it's nice to see him get rewarded.
Kills penalties.
And he kills penalties very well. And that's the one area, too, where VGK's really improved vastly. Clearing the puck. Like earlier in the season, they didn't clear the puck. Now it's like Cassidy, you could tell, has coached them. Okay, the puck comes in. We're on the penalty kill. Just clear the stinking puck. Just send it down.
It's a Pete DeBoer power play, Tony. Don't give Vegas too much credit. Stop it.
Very true. So talk a little bit more about Barbashev and his contributions for this team and the Yeti.
There it is on the bottom. I saw the logo that time. So I think when I want to start back, this is probably my third time I've mentioned this on the show. I believe there were 12 first-round draft picks swapped around the trade deadline for, immediate talents. I think it was another 13 or 15 or something like that second-round picks. So we had a total of 27 first or second-round picks swapped to improve rosters to make deep playoff runs. The last remaining player of the 4 teams that are still alive in the Stanley Cup playoffs is Max Domi, who was involved in all of that. All the other, players that were swapped for all these high-level draft picks and stuff didn't pan out. In Vegas, Tarasenko, Patrick Kane, Timo Meier. Those were the biggest 3 names that we heard possibly linked to deals in Vegas. And, how hard the tires were being kicked by McCrimmon, you definitely know he was a player. I don't know about Tarasenko, but, he was a player on Kane. That's pretty much all but confirmed. He was definitely a player in Timo Meier. And Meier, like we talked about, used VGK as leverage to get more from the Devils, and good on them because, Meier didn't do a whole lot in the playoffs. So instead, we play some money ball, right? You pick up, starting with Teddy Bluger, great fourth line center who didn't start the playoffs, but now he's been inserted. You look how well the defense has played as a whole, starting with the forwards and shutting Edmonton down, in the latter half of that series. And obviously what's happening to Dallas right now. Barbashev, of course, was the other piece. Jonathan Quick was acquired too in that, but more importantly, more notably, Barbashev won a Stanley Cup, a lot of playoff games played, synergy with Pietrangelo. Cassidy made a comment. He's seen him a bunch, obviously, because he was a part of that Blues team that defeated Cassidy's Bruins. So, it's all just, Tony, like you said, I mean, this Destiny stuff, it's not that outlandish of a comment that you made. I'm like repeating myself here. But you look at what Barbashev is doing, you look at what Bluger is doing, you look at what McCrimmon did in acquiring these character players who are important pieces to getting a team deep. And, when Barbashev first came here, he knocked William Karlsson down. I know you just love that. Probably not jumping out of your chair for that. He was getting more minutes. I don't know what the minutes are now in the playoffs, but when Barbashev first arrived, he was logging more minutes than William Karlsson as he found his way. And he's found his way into the lineup in a big way up on line one with Marchessault and Jack Eichel. And, he's doing the dirty work in the corners. He's winning those board battles. He's getting the puck to, plus areas, the money zone, as I like to call it, right in front of the net. And great things are happening, like getting the puck on Eichel's stick, Eichel across the Marchie, and, 60 seconds or whatever into the game, boom, VGK is off and running, never looks back.
You don't call it the house. I mean, they kept referring to it as the stinking house, but that's a steal
money zone.
That's a steal of a deal for VGK. They just had to give up Zach Dean in that trade. Remember, was that the player that McCrimmon said they saw like 30 some odd times or whatever in Barbashev, that they watched him a lot?
They were watching him a lot. And
a lot.
There were
right?
a lot of VGK. Yeah, a lot of VGK fans were like, we gave up Zach Dean. Oh my God. And whoever this clown from the San Jose Sharks, whoever that writer is that loves making comments, oh, he just gave away another one of your biggest prospects and Zach Dean, like, get out of here. Maybe Zach Dean will be a great player. Fine. That's awesome. But we're trying to win a cup right now. And we're about to go back to the cup for the second time in 6 seasons. In our first 6 seasons, like this is exciting. And this, not to take a shot here, but the stars are aligning right now in a very positive manner. And you certainly hope everything works out. We almost had just our third man game outside of our goaltenders, of course. That's not counting that in the stat, but we lost Theodore for 1 game and we lost another defenseman for 1 game. Who was it Martinez? No, who sat the 1 game?
In the playoffs?
McNabb in game 5. Pahal and Ben Hutton drew in. So we've only had 2 man games lost outside of our goaltenders due to injury.
You don't count Pietrangelo as a man game? That's an
injury. That's an injury. Or that's not an injury, though.
And then Chandler Stevenson was ill and missed the skate.
Which is where I was ultimately going. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
You picked it up because I stopped talking. So go ahead.
Oh, yeah. No, I was just going to say, so he was sick early on Tuesday, and then he played in the game. Can't remember much out of him.
And what was your take on that, Tony? Just for the record, what'd you text me about that?
I think I texted you, hey, I think Cassidy is going to just scratch Stevenson because of his stupid penalties on Sunday.
And I think I responded and said, go ahead, they're going to drag you for that. And you did anyway. So I give you credit at least for knowing what was coming. You still did it.
I'm not scared at all.
Oh.
Just one other thing. So do you feel as though it's a factor that the Stars played a 7-game series? And I'm going there, before this series began, even though they did have a gap. I'm going there because now I think there's a little bit of a competition between VGK and Florida and the Panthers. Now the Panthers want to wrap up that series and they want to go for the sweep, and we'll find out coming up on Wednesday night. They want to be able to clinch before the VGK. I feel like there's competition going on, who could get there first between those 2 teams. But do you feel that playing a 7-game series, even though they had a little bit of a breather, might have taken a toll on the Dallas Stars? And should some flowers be sent, of course, to Seattle, to the Kraken?
So real fast walk down memory lane in the bubble. Vegas has a 3-1 lead over the Vancouver Canucks. Pete DeBoer's first season coaching the Golden Knights. That series goes 7 games, emotional, physical, VGK found a way. And then they had a quick turnaround. They actually went back to Marc-Andre Fleury for game one, and we played that series, the Dallas Stars.
Mm-hmm.
So Pete DeBoer is the coach, and Dallas outed us in 5 games that series. VGK was just not very good in that series. So, yes, in that series, the physicality and the fact that it went 7 games probably took a toll on the Golden Knights. And you have to say that a 7-game series does take a toll on any team, especially when the Golden Knights only played 6 games. And there's a big difference of going 7 versus 6 games, not just the fact that it's 3 more periods of hockey, but the emotional toll of a game 7 and the pressure, everything that goes into it. And then relaxing and pressing the reset button to get back to game 1. I mean, Dallas didn't have a good start in game 1. They stayed in and almost stole a game at the end, but they did not have a good start. So you put all this into a blender, and with Pete DeBoer's lack of ability to make big adjustments, and in today's game control his team.
Those lineup changes were brutal. You could just see that they were disjointed from the very beginning. The weak side, the back side there, no one covered Marchessault. VGK just walked in. Eichel just walked in and delivered, of course, another dime of a pass right in the stick of Marchessault, who had a very big breakfast. That's why I don't know what he had for breakfast. Oh, it's the same thing that he always has. He says it's the same thing he's always had. We'd like to thank all of you for tuning in. We appreciate you making us your first listen each and every day. Of course, the special shout out to our everydayers, all the folks that tune in each and every day and put up with myself and Chris, but mostly me. For my man, Chris Golick, I'm Tony Cardasco. We appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll get ready for game number 4. Could it be a sweep? And we'll see you again right here on Locked On Golden Knights.